What's up, guys? This is Sri Akarshana here, and welcome to another episode of Make Money Matter. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about how to get what you want in life and in business, creating and using the win-win principle. And today, I'm joined here with the amazing Chibaria, who is here with us again. And so I'm super excited for this topic because we also have an announcement to make to everybody as well. What we recently did, which was kind of like a merger. Those of you who are into business will understand this, but the principles that are going to be taught in this episode are not to only be used in business, because actually it's the principles of life. If you want to get what you want, it's very important to use this, what we call the win-win principle.
Yes.
Okay. So Jibaria, do you want to just say a few words on it? Why did you decide that, this is something that you wanted to speak about, and why is it so powerful?
Yeah, I think this is very, very powerful because it allows you to get way more abundance than initially anticipated on. And what I mean by that is that a lot of the time we think about the things that we want in life and we feel like, that's very important. And sometimes we then forget that, helping other people win, or understanding that if someone else wins, then you don't lose, you also win. Then that can actually, from operating from that principle, you can get so much more abundance in your own life. And
I think a lot of the time it's not just about what you're trying to get in terms of like a business deal or something like that. It's just saying actually the principle that we take into business is the principle of life.
Yeah.
Even if let's say a kid wants a toy or something like that, and then they be good to create this win-win situation, or they wash the dishes or do some house chores or something, and then they get rewarded for it. So actually this type of behavior is kind of the behavior of nature, right? But then it's actually when you understand the concept and you dive deep with it and use it in every area of life, actually, then you're more able to get what you want. And I think a lot of people, they focus on, I want this, I want this, I want that. But actually, who do you want it from? Where do you want it from? And maybe if we look at the other person and ask a different question, not what I want, but hey, what is it that you want?
Yeah, 100%.
Right? And how can I best serve you?
Yeah, and even actually, about all the spiritual things that you always talk about and that we've always been talking about throughout our upbringing with my family, is also that if you really look at it from a physical point of view, then you're a different person. I'm a different person. We're all in, different vessels, different bodies. But actually, at the end of the day, we're all one anyways. So by letting go of kind of the physical principles, but understanding that there is only oneness, unity, then from letting that go, I think it also creates this different vibration that will attract more beautiful things to you. And it comes down to the same thing, like thinking about what other person wants and understanding that that's actually you too.
So it's almost like the principle of giving and receiving. Right?
Yeah,
we give, we receive, we sow, we reap.
Yeah.
It's that same principle.
Yeah, definitely.
And when it comes to business, I know that recently, maybe we make the announcement first, and then we can go into why we made it and how other people can learn from it. And for example, some people may be looking to start your own business. You may be lacking finances to start your own business. You may be lacking ideas or some sort of knowledge or skill set that somebody else may have. So how do you actually create this leverage so that you don't need to try and do everything yourself? There's this African proverb, you were going to mention it.
If you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you go together.
So a lot of people, they're always thinking short-term gain and they're thinking about themselves. But actually, if you actually think long-term, then if everybody works in unity, you get there much, much quicker. So maybe you make the announcement first and then we go from there.
Yes, so I'm very happy and blessed for us to have joined forces again, and for, just how we're, with merging the companies, being able to help so many more people in business and also like in other areas of life, but specifically business. And I think especially with what you mentioned just before about, understanding that sometimes you don't have everything yourself. You may lack a particular skill, you may lack a resource, and then understanding that together you can get so much further. Also comes the thing that what we hear a lot from, let's say, students or people who are aspiring to go in business, sometimes if you don't think beyond, yourself, you may think like, oh, well, right now I own 100% of my company and I don't want to share it with someone else because, then I have less. But if you really understand like, okay, how much are you currently only like you own 100% of very little, or you can actually own 50% or whichever.
Like even if you had 0.5% of Facebook, you'll be laughing right
yeah,
now, right?
exactly. That's
So it's not really about the
100%.
percentage.
Yeah.
I remember back then when I first got into the fashion business with Sia Howard, it was kind of the same type of thing. I said to her, I said at the time she was pitching for investment, and I said, okay, I'll invest whatever it takes to actually make it happen, but I
Yeah.
want 45% of the company. And I remember there was like 45%, that's a lot of
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
money. And I was saying,
remember.
but actually it's a lot of money of what right now? Because the reality is right now the company isn't making any money at
Yeah.
all. So it's a brand new brand.
Yeah.
And so if you're looking at that, my question to you is, are you fixed on I need 100% of what is nothing right now?
Yeah.
Right? But then the thought can be, but I can make it in the future and make it for myself. But then the question is also, right, do you see the power of the leverage? Like what is the benefits of working with this person?
Yeah.
Right? And I think in that same sense, when we talk about this merge, it's not as straightforward as just, oh, we woke up one day and we merged.
Yeah.
Because with every thing that you want in life, it's very important with the effective communication to actually communicate the negotiation. Right?
Yeah.
In the same sense that if you want somebody to spend the rest of your life with you or marry you or something like that, actually we don't call it a negotiation, but there's something going on. Through time, you're building a relationship, you're
Yeah.
understanding each other.
The
You're saying,
trust.
oh, why do you not do this? Or why do you do this? Or, and then you start building that up because you start finding, hey, is this...
Yeah.
And I know people won't like to hear this because people will say, oh no, love is unconditional and I love no matter what. But at the end of the day, if they slap you in the face every single day, there's a matter of time. No, it's the reality though. It's a matter of time where it's like, wait there a second, what am I getting out of this? So
Yeah.
I think when this actually happened, my thought had to be in this way. First of all, I understand what I need. And I think it'll be nice to actually open up to everybody here because of my focus now and what I'm the whole mission and the vision of the whole company of what we need to create with training yogis and spreading the word of yoga and health and positivity and happiness and wealth and abundance and spirituality, law of attraction. There's a lot of things and one can only do so much and spend so much time talking about something or training something. So when that came to mind, and especially this year's focus needs to be on philanthropy, that's why we had to have somebody lead the business front. And I was leading the business front for all these years now.
Yeah.
And and in my mind, there was nobody better to do this than Chibaria because she had did this before for us as a company in the past and got exceptional results. And so she knows exactly what she's doing. And I know her passion is there. That's the most beautiful thing. Her care is there for the students, you see. And so when that's there, I was thinking, okay, well, first of all, number one, my chain of thought is I need Chibaria to be a part of this, right? But then I couldn't just go to Chibaria and say, hey, I need you to be a part of this, come. Because her thing will be like, why? What? I've got my own thing I'm doing right now and it's doing very well, so why? So my chain of thought starts from number one, what I want out of it. Then number two shifts immediately to what does she want?
Yeah.
What is her mission? What is her vision? And I think you'll remember when we started, my thing was, okay, so this is what I feel you will get from it, right? I feel that we can hit a lot of exposure at once, immediately. I think that there's this amount of people already there to be trained and you can spread that message further faster. So all of these things were already there.
Yeah.
And then it's to say, if I can give all of that, then can we strike the deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very important point, especially for people who are wanting to form deals or who are learning the skills of business, to understand in that way as well, to, like you said, make a list of things that you want out of it, a list of things that someone else wants out of it, but also understand that if you listen, like if you have a deal in mind or a proposal in mind and you're not yourself sold by it, then don't even bother to propose it, because that's also one of the things that you always said before, is that you want to create this win-win situation. Don't try to put something on the table that is just it's not going to benefit the other person. You really want it to be mutually beneficial, and then only when you feel like, yes, I, as the other person, would go with this, then you know you've got a good deal to put
But actually,
forward.
another thing that we always talk about is when we come up with a pitch, the pitch needs to, for us ourselves, be a no-brainer yes pitch.
Yeah.
Meaning that actually, when we say win-win, I would look at it this way, right? Is that if I'm going to create a pitch for you, then I'm looking at it as 90% beneficial for you and 10% beneficial for me.
Yeah.
Like as more as it leans towards the other side, and then I think, can I really compromise to make this actually happen?
Yeah.
Would it still make sense for me, right? And if the answer is yes, then I go with it. If not, can I make it 80-20? Can I make it 70-30? Because your chain of thought needs to be going way beyond, so you know that it's a no-brainer deal and that they're definitely going to say yes to it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also exactly what you're saying here, a lot of the time to the both of us applies to life as well. Like really being able to give in this, unconditional form and give to really benefit the other person, and then understanding that from that, even though you don't do it for the sake of getting, you'll get so much more as well.
Do you know, I made a joke about this recently at one of our events. I said that a lot of people, they are looking outside for love or looking outside for, let's say, their ideal partner. Let's say, for example, somebody is saying, oh, I want this dream boyfriend or girlfriend, and they look like a model, right? The six-pack and like that, right? and then I was talking about this. I said, actually, we need to start learning one thing here. And this is also why we say when we practice yoga, actually our body, our mind, our spirit is all connected, because you need to be able to answer to this first, right? If you are trying to attract that, let's say, for example, it's a six-pack model, right? You need to be able to look in the mirror and say, hey, what are you using to attract that?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're not going out and then, let's say, for example, you are not the best in shape right now and you're not the healthiest person. They have a way of, the healthy person, the fitness person has a way of living. So to match that frequency and to be able to create that win-win deal, you must at least be able to look into the mirror and say, hey, I am the reflection of what I want to attract, right?
Yeah.
Because we attract what we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so in that same principle, even when we talk about law of attraction and relationship and everything, it's very important. What is it that you want to attract? Are you even close to that thing you want to attract? If not, then actually when we work on ourselves, everything else will change, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, like now you're saying this also very much applies to physics. Like obviously from my physics background, they have this term called resonance. And basically if you have, let's say, it could be two different things that are on the same frequency, then you can have a magnification of the strength at which something moves because it's in resonance.
Beautiful.
So yeah, it's kind of the same everywhere.
So for those people who are looking at this basic principle of getting what they want, how can they actually use this principle in business? How do you feel that, where do you feel that most people are getting stuck, especially like startups or people who are struggling with their businesses or finances right now? How do you think they can look at it, and what do you think they can do?
So I think it's twofold. The first part is with regards to the social media and building the relationship with people. And the second part is with regards to running an extra mile for your first few customers. So coming to the social media part, a lot of the time we are looking at the numbers. We're thinking of, I want to be an influencer, like having, so many subscribers at this and this channel. But then we don't spend too much attention towards that one viewer. Now, Gary Vee talks about it. He says, if you have one follower, if one person is looking at your stuff, then you're super, super lucky for that and grateful that someone is willing to listen to you. So you need to appreciate the one person just as much as if you would appreciate the million people, because otherwise you're not worthy of the million people. So the first practical advice that I would give is that you have a minimal brand right now, you have 0 followers, just your mom or your dad, then still put consistent effort out there, consistent value, and spend that time, and that will attract more. Then
and when we talk about consistent value as well, we're talking about something that is valuable to them, not valuable to us.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the big mistake that I see a lot of people make also.
Yeah.
Is that it's just like, oh, I feel this is very valuable information. But actually, the reality, and as brutal as this sounds, nobody cares if they don't care.
Yeah.
So when we are looking for what we put out there, we should be looking at, hey, what does the demographic want? What do they need? What they want? And then say, hey, how do we speak their language?
Yeah, and that's again the win-win situation, wanting them to feel that they're winning from that. And then once that the ball is rolling with that, once you get your very first customer, sometimes people look at, the bigger brands, bigger companies, and they see, okay, they have a certain format in which they serve their customers, and that's just the way it is. But you have to understand, if you're getting your first customer on board or your first client, that you will probably need to put a little bit extra in to, first of all, get the program looking good or your product looking good, learn from the feedback, but also to be able to really build your first few loyal fans and like this family, this tribe that really feels appreciated. And once you do that, once you put those things in place, then much more will grow from it. So I think those are like two practical things.
So just keep focusing on other people, how to add value to the marketplace, how to add value to other people, what do people want, and keep giving them it, and then building up that fan base.
Yeah.
And then that runs off that 100,000 true fan principle, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Once we hit the 1,000 true fans, and actually word of mouth, they will actually go out to the millions of people.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's exactly the same thing that happened with my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
also.
exactly. Because it's like you did something crazy, like every single day you're putting so much value, and people will really appreciate it. Like also like the messages that you get of people saying like, "Thank you so much. You're part of my life. You're part of my daily routine." It means so much, and that's why I always say like, care about people, and then again the win-win principle, really give them what they would benefit from, and then the rest comes from there.
A lot of people is very interesting when sometimes they see people doing work on YouTube. They're like, oh right, okay, they're doing on YouTube because to make money, right? But actually what people don't understand, well, if it's that easy, then the ones who are thinking that, you don't see them doing the YouTube channel like that, because actually to be able to do that actually takes so much dedication on what we will call unconditional giving. I think we talked about that in the last one. Unconditional love, unconditional giving, meaning that you are giving with no expectation of result, and you are not getting result. And I remember I was doing, I think, around 150 videos or something like. After 150 videos, imagine every single video flopping, every single video crashing, and I'm still doing videos. So what is the purpose of that? And what's the drive, you know? So it takes a lot of drive, it takes a lot of dedication to say, hey, you know what? I understand that the universal forces of the universe they will eventually give back if I surrender to this cause. And I'm just saying, hey, I'm just going to give.
Amen. That's it.
So anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. If you got any value from this episode at all, please do hit the thumbs up, hit the like button. The main message here for everybody to take away is to actually focus on other people. What do other people want? To get what you want in life. I don't care if it's relationship. I don't care if it's business. I don't care what it is. Don't care if it's your relationship with your parents, with your kids, whatever it is. It's a negotiation of finding out what they want. How can you actually exchange value for value in the same principle as sowing and reaping? So guys, hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, comment below with any questions you may have. And I know that Chibaria has some freebie giveaways. Do you want to mention it?
Yeah, we've got the training. So it's a free training where within, let's say, 60 to 90 minutes, we really learn or share with you how you can build up a business from scratch. And also we've got a group where we run so many challenges. We've got resources. So those two links are in the bottom.
Beautiful. Okay, so and Chibaria's dedicated her time for that. It's a free group and it's a free training for everybody to be able to join that. So please do click on the link in the description and join that training. And we look forward to seeing you inside the network. Other than that, if you are new to this channel and you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button and the notifications button next to it. That's a little bell sign, by the way, because this year I'm dedicated to making daily videos to hold you accountable to make it your best year yet. But for now, guys, we're signing out. Ciao. Namaste.